Many recent architecture has one-by-one filters. So one-by-one filter looks like this, right? Shape is 1 by 1 with the same number of channel depths. Okay, the 1 by 1 filter totally makes sense. When you look at the input activation map, basically input activation map has many input channels, and each channel will give you many different point of view, like is there a vertical line, is there a horizontal line, is there circles, is there some white pixel, is there some red pixel, and so on. Many different point of view will be recorded for each channels. And when you focus on one specific pixels of your input map, this pixel just indicate the location of your input image, right? And this information, the 1 by 1 by the number of channel information, will indicate the many different point of view of for specific locations. Okay. So convolutional layers focus on local behavior, right? So they try to extract the local information and make some map that record all the positions of local informations and so on. But 1 by 1 filter is more focused on the analysis of the different features, different point of view. So this is more like a fully connected neural network. You can bring this input 1 by 1 by C like this. So there are C dimensional vector. The 1 by 1 convolutional filter, basically a fully connected layer that make the values by fully connected edge, consists of weight, comes from the 1 by 1 filters. And each different 1 by 1 filter will generate a new neurons for these open layers. So as you use more different 1 by 1 filters, you'll have more activation neurons for this open layer. Okay, so basically the 1 by 1 filters make the 1 by 1 filter make the fully connected layers. And when you use many different 1 by 1 layers, which basically make the deep structure of fully connected layer for the classification task for one specific position. Okay, so 1 by 1 filter totally makes sense, and 1 by 1 filters make your classification function more complicated and more nicely classify your input image. Okay, so roughly, when you have very deep structured neural network, convolutional neural network, here is input and here is output. At the beginning, the local information is very important because when you look at the picture at the first, it is very important to find where is edge, where is a circle, where is some window, and so on, right? So when you look at this kind of image, it is very important to notify where is window, where is circle, where is some this shape, where is this shape, and so on. It is very important to understand local behavior as you close to the input. Okay, so in that case, you use some large filter like 5 by 5 or 7 by 7. So when you design a convolutional neural network, usually the first layer just after input image, usually have large size filters to understand the local behavior more accurately or more easily. But except the first or second layer close to the input layer, you usually use 3x3 or 1x1. Because in the middle, more important thing is how to build nice classifier, how to design very complicated nonlinear function using very stacked nonlinear activation functions and weight matrices. So basically 3x3 or 1x1 build some local functions, very nonlinear local functions using kind of fully connected layer architecture. Okay, so at the beginning, we want to build very local characteristics. So we want to use some large size filter to extract the local behavior. But after some point, it is more likely to design very nice functions using many different 3x3 and 1x1 filters. Okay, and also the width is very important, right? So it is very important to keep the number of neurons for each layers. So usually when you decrease the map size, when you decrease the width or height by using high stride value, you have to increase the number of channels by increasing the number of filters so that you can keep the sufficient amount of activation unit for each layer. So when you look at very recent paper or very old paper, usually you can notify that when you decrease the map size, the number of channels increase. And when you look at the very bottom body, you will see 5x5 or 7x7 filters. But when you look at the very top side, usually the filter size is 3x3 or 1x1.